What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to show you what I think just might be my in-game keyboard. Check it out. So this was sent to me by GAMDIAS. This is their Hermes M3 RGB mechanical keyboard. It's a tenkeyless keyboard, 87 keys total. It's super low profile. And man, I'm excited to try it out because you guys know I like my super compact keyboards, and this one looks like it should fit the bill. So I'm excited to go ahead and test this out. So let's take a look at it. Now, as you guys can see, the keyboard itself is pretty compact and slim, which I'm a big fan of. As soon as I held it in my hand, I was just like, wow, this thing is little, and it's lightweight too. So with that, and then in addition, the low profile keycaps, it just really gives that thin look, almost like sort of like a laptop keyboard in a way, but not. So yeah, I was really impressed with the form factor of this keyboard. As you guys know, I prefer compact keyboards over full-size ones, especially for gaming. So this definitely fits into what I look for as an ideal keyboard. Now, the casing of the keyboard itself is plastic, but it does have an aluminum top plate on it, like pretty much all mechanical keyboards these days. Really no super gamery branding or funny font keycaps. These ones, obviously they aren't like Arial font, but it is pretty tolerable. And the only branding that you have on the face of the keyboard is in the bottom right corner where it has the Hermes M3, which is not too bad. There's a removable rubber cable on the back side here. And as I mentioned, the keyboard does have these low profile keycaps. They look like they're just standard ABS plastic. They can get pretty greasy, as you guys can see from the B-roll here, so I'm not a huge fan of them, but they don't look too bad. So on the keyboard itself, you do get media keys across the top row. I am glad actually to have F keys back. One of the things that I really didn't like when I was using the Drivo keyboard was that the F keys were consolidated to the number row, which, I mean, it's great for form factor, but when it comes to playing games that actually require you to use the F key, having to do like function and 3 or 4 or something like that, it's not that fun, especially when you accidentally press Alt instead of function and you Alt 4 out of the middle of your game. That's not too fun, but I'm glad to have these back. So again, you got media keys across the top. On your number row, you do have profiles. There are 6 of them total, so you can keep 6 different profile settings. You've also got brightness controls on the same row. And then over on the home, insert row, etc. are your lighting controls. You do have a set of arrow keys down at the bottom right. And you can see the setup of the bottom row here. You will notice the game and the function keys are actually reversed from how they normally are. So I'm gonna go ahead and change that because that's weird. Luckily, the software that you can download for this keyboard actually allows you to switch those two keys, so you can actually just change the keycaps if you don't like the default placement. Now, the key switches themselves are a little bit of a hot topic. So they are basically low profile switches, or whatever you want to call it, maybe speed switches. They have a lower actuation force as well as total travel distance than your standard Cherry MX or Kailh switches. So the switches themselves are actually Kailh switches, though. They are their chalk switches, I think is what they refer to them as. And these have an actuation force of 1.5 millimeters and a total travel distance of 3 millimeters. Now, I will say typing with them out of the box was actually kind of weird, just because it felt like you were typing on a laptop pretty much. I wouldn't say the actuation distance was really all that noticeable, because if you use like Cherry MX speed switches, those have a 1.2 millimeter actuation distance. I can't even say that. Actuation, you guys know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty similar to these, actually a little bit faster or lower, whatever. The thing that I think makes a difference with this particular keyboard is the total travel distance. So instead of, you know, 4 millimeters or even 3.5 for the speed switches, you have a 3 millimeter total travel distance. So that's pretty much the distance of going up and then, or down and then back up. So it's definitely noticeable when you press the key and it's just like bam, bam. And again, it's almost like typing with a laptop keyboard, which is not gonna be for everyone. It took me a little bit to get used to it. At first I was kind of like, the hell is this? I would say they're still growing on me. They're not my favorite switch because of that, but you guys can kind of see here how the blue switches in particular, of course, they are clicky. They've got kind of this wire that clicks when you press the button down. And I think it totally works for the profile of this keyboard, but again, it's just not really my favorite switch. Not bad, but not my favorite. Anyway, this video wouldn't be complete without a typing test, so let me give you guys a sample of what they sound like. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, if you look at the key switch itself, it does not use Cherry MX stems. So searching for aftermarket keycaps is going to be kind of an issue for you, which sucks. So just keep that in mind. Now, in terms of lighting on this keyboard, I'm not gonna go through every single one, but there are a few lighting modes that you can do. The ones that are built into the keyboard itself, you've got wave, you got this rotating light mode, you've got static or off, and then there's kind of this directional one that you can do. You also have the ability to speed up or slow down some of the moving effects. Now, if you want some additional lighting effects, which are possible with this keyboard, you have to download their Harris software, which looks like they're still working on the translation a little bit, but it's actually usable. As you guys can see here, there are some additional lighting options. I wish you could access them all without the need of software, but perhaps maybe it's a limitation of the onboard memory or something like that. I would say overall, it's a pretty solid keyboard. I think it is kind of pricey for what you can get it for at the moment, but overall, I think it appears to be well built. I think the key switches match the profile that GAMDIAS is going for here, with the low profile keycaps and the minimal bezel and the lightweightness of the keyboard itself. So, you know, everything just kind of fits, but I would say it's not my in-game keyboard. I'm still gonna be looking for one just because the switch, I'm not sold yet on having a laptop-like experience. For some odd reason, I kind of miss the travel of the standard Cherry MX switches, so no, I'm gonna keep looking, but this may be something that you guys like. So if you wanna check it out, I'll put a link down in the description below. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. Like this video if you guys like this type of content. I will see you guys next time. See ya!